Okay guys, this is going to be our short pinch default. It's going to be super simple and we're going to go for really simple strats to start off with, and I'll kind of build from there. So, you've got two players coming through con, right? So dropping con, and then one player is going to pull out a smoke while the other one holds the angle, and he's just going to throw this smoke right here and make a really easy push and fight short. No flashes involved. I mean, you could hypothetically throw a flash like that, but as you can see, it has a shit ton of travel distance that we just don't need. And we most likely get the jump on them if we hop out. So just very simple. Oh fuck. Open the door, clear this angle, and then swing, basically. Like, you can just look here and then come out. The short player, or the long, fuck. Here, I want to restart that sentence. So you got two people coming towards B, right? You've got the short player and you've got the monster player. The monster player is going to come back and he's just going to look at this little dot after he gets stuck with the rooster. And then he's going to left click throw that smoke. That smoke's going to give him a nice fighting, like, if there's anybody up here and he somehow beats his players out con, that way it kind of gives a better timing for him, and he can swing around and fight people with his players and have a smoke to play around. That way he's not in the open. Okay, so that's pretty much everybody's job there. Now, the monster player, after he throws this smoke, he's just gonna take he's actually gonna sit here and look right above and left click throw. And that gives you a beautiful flash behind your teammates and like makes anybody that was pushing basically fuck off, which is beautiful. I really enjoyed that. So, monster player, look at the dot, flash this. Short player's running out. Smoke should land as he comes out. He's like, okay, I'm fighting, and then he's got two con players supporting him, and they have a smoke and con. That's a really like aggressive short push since we burned two of our smokes, but we're taking a good bit of map control, and if we want, we can boost somewhere through here and try to get a pick. So that's pretty simple stuff. Now, all the last player is doing, most likely a rifler, since the opera will most likely be playing monster just to hold for pushes, and he has teammates to come back and support him. He's just gonna come, he's gonna get the cross, and he's just gonna kind of listen for a long push, and he can kind of jiggle this angle, not make noise. That way, if anybody's pushing, that he has the drop on them. Other than that, like, this player shouldn't be getting too aggressive, and yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty good stuff, and let's talk about the next default. Okay, so this is the next default. We're going to be talking about our A default. So we're going to have three people going towards A, and what I like to do when I have players A is if my opper has a good spawn, most likely it'll be me, I'm going to like peek this angle right here, try to kill him there, and the rest of my players are just going to run into fountain. And then, playground. They're going to run in the playground, and they're going to swing together on this angle, and they're not going to fight long. We don't really need long control in this default, and then when I call for them to swing, I'm just going to throw a flash out in front of them. So if you look, that flash shouldn't flash anybody standing here, and they're just going to swing and fight anybody that's here that's holding front bathroom. After we get front bathroom control, we're just going to smoke it off so we don't get peaked and timing. And then our players are going to start working up towards bathrooms and starting to take bathrooms control. And as soon as we get this outside divider area clear, I want to get a boost so we can see in the bathroom if anybody's holding, back here and like has an op or something. So simple enough. And that's our A default. All the B player is doing is he's just kind of sitting back monster or sitting, you know, spool, waiting for a push. And the con player, he's just going to come into this cubby with the tools right here. And, you know, he can play back off of it. He can play on it. That's his call. And then as we clear out bathrooms and say like, or as we push up through bathrooms, we can kind of start moving through con, because most likely they won't have a con player at that point. And then we can either call for an A execute or an A fake. Okay, now we're going to talk about our con split that squeezes out anybody con. So this is one of the only defaults where I'm going to send 2 players towards fountain instead of towards playground. So you got 2 con players that are pushing through, and they're being pretty aggressive. They don't have to immediately like hold W and fight con, but they are working con a lot harder than they were before on like a passive default. And then my A players are coming up and they're holding this angle right here, and they're just gonna kind of wait for the opper. And if they hear the opper falling off and there's a smoke here, I don't care. I think they should be, you know, trying to fall through here. And if we hear an opper that's playing through here, or if there's a, here, I'll preface it like this. If there's an opper playing party, there will never be a player playing con. And if there is, they're stupid. Like, they won't be playing bottom con. If they are in con, they'll be playing top con. And even at that point, they're really not supporting their teammate very well. So, most likely, if we see an opper party, the second player is either going to be, like, back holding for his fall off, or, like, in bathroom somewhere holding for him. He's not going to be, you know, doing his own thing, most likely. So, we can just, you know, if we spot a player party, the con player should immediately react and start, like, moving up con pretty quickly. And be ready to trade anybody if they're in the con, because there's only going to be 1 max on a gun round. That's simple enough. And that's pretty much all there is. And again, the monster player is he's just holding for pushes. You know, if they push short, he'll know. Just watch for feet and call if they're pushing in con or something like that. And yeah, that's all I have to say with that. Okay, now let's talk about pistol round. So pistol round, if you think about it, 90% of teams, they'll send a player right here to, you know, peek, see if there's anybody there, and if not, after about 5 seconds, he usually falls off and goes back towards site so he has a teammate to play with. And if he doesn't see anything, he usually won't call anything. And if you think about it, most teams, they say nobody, watch for your like con and watch for your B. And this team's probably seen our pistol rounds already, so I thought about getting, I remember how you throw it, I just can't throw it very well. It's like right here, isn't it? It's the heaven smoke. So I was thinking we get a player that sits and throws the heaven smoke, and then he buys 2 flashes and does the B execute flashes like that. And while this is going on, we have delayed with our other 4 players, and we're just sitting here waiting for a push. And after I say go, we're just gonna swing knife out basically, because most players aren't gonna play up through here. And you're just gonna go all the way through long. Try to hold away from the bathroom so they don't hear us until you get right here, and then you can kind of start pushing up. And when that execute's happening, we can start walking here. And if we hear rotations, we just start busting out and fighting. I don't think there should be too much utility. The only utility if we do buy something is like a molly or a smoke, and you can basically molly garbage if you want to do that. And that way we keep rotations out. And then we should be pushing in the bank since we have Glocks, and getting like 1 or 2 players behind, and then the rest of our team should be playing after plant, because the B player is gonna come back after he throws the smokes, and he's just gonna rotate through T, and he's gonna be playing that bathroom's position as well, and he can just wait for a player to come out of con right here. Simple enough. It'll most likely be Scott or Void as the B player, since he knows the smoke already and he's pretty good with utility. So flash, flash, and then he can just knife out. Everybody else, all you have to know is you're gonna wait, then you're gonna come out this way, and we're running up long until we get about here. And if they get jump spotted, we should probably just start running. But most likely we won't be rounding this corner until I ask for Scott to throw his smoke on heaven and execute. So yeah, that's everything I want to talk about, and